Sometimes dead is better.
Why, hello there, and welcome to Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the podcast. It is I, Nate, your host, as always, and with me today is Charlie. Say hello, Charlie.
Are you trying to be Vincent Price right now, or
No, it's because I'm still sick, and I sound super nasally, and I hate it.
So you're just trying to work with? Sorry
I'm trying to,
knock me.
Yeah, you really instantly busted me out.
I didn't mean to kill the illusion there, my friend.
This could have been a person's first time clicking on an episode and be like, oh, what's this sexy, sultry voice? And then, this is what I sound like right now, and it really sucks.
Maybe before I hit record, you fill me in a little bit on what your plan is.
Never.
Exactly. Never.
But don't worry. We brought Pete along for the journey, too. Say hello, Pete.
Hey, gang. How's it going? I was going to try to do a Brad Dourif cackle there, and I don't think I got the pipes for it.
You know what? All day I was trying to do it at work. And that's not too bad.
That's pretty good. I don't think that's Brad Dourif, but that's really good.
More Crypt Keeper, I think it was.
A little bit. Might just be like,
funny fact. My mom can do the Crypt Keeper spot on. It's terrifying.
Let's get her on the podcast.
Right.
I gotta get
her to do a liner for us. It's really good.
Hey, Andy. What you got to do is you got to throw a little Jack Nicholson in. It's like, hey, Andy, I'm going to get your soul.
Okay, I got this. Hey, Andy, I got your soul.
That's John
still
Lovitz.
Not working out.
That's John Lovitz.
It stinks. It stinks.
Oh,
come back here, you little bitch! I'm gonna stab you.
Jesus.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Yeah, man, this is the tail end of our holiday
Tommy.
Tom. Poor Tommy. He got the worst end of the deal in this movie.
If only
Nate,
he could fight back.
Tell the people what movie we're even doing. I think
well, it's a month of sequels, so Child's Play 2 it is.
It is the month of sequels, even though it's going to span 2 months to get the month of sequels done.
Wait, you know what? Fine. When you're ending your second year of a podcast, you got to do a month and a half of sequels.
Why didn't you just do all year sequels?
Oof. Did think about that.
That's
another show did that, and I didn't want to copy them.
Okay.
Last Action podcast started out 2022 as the year of sequels. It eventually petered out because they realized, man, a lot of sequels suck.
You gotta stay on that horse.
I know, man. You should have stuck it out. Come on, LPJ. Come on, Hovercraft Joe. You guys should have stuck it out.
Sleepaway Camp 2 is great.
But we're talking weekly action movies. They don't even get to jump into other genres.
52 sequels? Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. Wow.
It sounds great when you're like, oh, Predator 2,
on paper.
Rambo 2, Terminator 2, till
that
you get into
good. Then you get into February and you're like, well, now we're out of good sequels.
Starship Troopers 2.
Oh God. We gotta do Chronicles of Riddick.
Not the non-director's cut. You got to do the theatrical release.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run 2.
Oh, so
Smokey and the Bandit 2.
That's pretty bad.
Smokey and the Bandit 3. Smokey is the bandit.
Ooh, Roadhouse 2.
Oh, no.
There is such a thing. No. I have no idea.
There is.
It doesn't exist.
It does exist.
No. Oh, Highlander 2.
Well, I might have to defend that one a little bit. There's 2 versions. That means that's
There's
2 episodes.
3 versions, and
we could literally do 2 to 3
regret
episodes of Highlander 2.
I'm gonna regret it so badly.
I'm so looking forward to it. I may have to pull that on a birthday card or something just to get it on the show. Nate's always vetoing it. So I was like, my birthday, bitch. You can't veto it.
You cannot veto on the birthday.
Oh, but yeah, we're doing the end of 2022 with our sequels, Child's Play 2, which also works because we're coming off of Christmas. Hope everyone had a great Christmas.
This would be the gift that you now get to play with after Christmas.
Or return. Hope you kept the receipt.
Possibly.
That was my thought process.
No, the old man had too much to drink and forgot where the receipt got left, and mom's yelling at him for forgetting where the receipt's at, and that's why our uncle is dead.
You go back to the first Child's Play where she bought it in an alley out of some guy's trunk. There's no receipt.
That was a thing you did. Like, remember Tickle Me Elmo that almost destroyed the entire planet?
Oh, yeah.
I remember Cabbage Patch Kids, my friend. Yeah.
That was your generation. Mine was Tickle Me Elmo.
I guess.
I know, Pete. Right. He just aged us real bad right there.
I'll keep it.
I can't wait to see you next time, you son of a bitch.
I will be the Crypt Keeper soon.
Good.
But I'm practicing it now.
Yeah, you keep on that.
All right, boys. Let's do the show. Let's knock the trailer out. It's super fast. Let's do this. Let's get in the mood.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Child's Play 2.
Peekaboo.
He's the original. He'll take your breath away. This fall, Chucky rules.
Did you miss me, Andy? I sure missed you.
Child's Play 2. Keep an eye out for it.
There it is. Quick and
Hell
short.
yeah.
That's the longest trailer I could find for this movie. I will say this though, when I don't remember, these trailers a whole lot. When I clicked on this one, I remember that freaking Jack in the Box intro to this from being a kid. Because it's just this like good guys, Jack in the Box has all the emblems for the good guys, and then Chucky's foot coming down, crushing it. And
I think
says,
Don Mancini is the one who made that trailer too.
Yeah, and I watched it on YouTube today and went, I remember this.
I did the same thing. For me, it's the poster that I remember more because this is an iconic.
Oh yes, with
poster.
the shooters.
Oh, yes,
with the Jack. Yeah, with the Jack in the Box. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is like, even when you were a kid, like we still talked about Chucky, even though most of us said we watched it, but we never did. Your parents definitely didn't let you watch this unless you were like Nate's parents or something like that.
Well, even then, I was
Nate's
a big Chucky
Nana.
fan as a kid. Yep, this is a Nana.
I know.
But Chucky was scary as a kid.
Yeah,
Chucky was scary as a kid.
That this is pre-Toy Story, but your toys coming to life and killing you.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, this is after Dolls. I think this is right after Dolls. So we've had the concept of killer.
Oh sure.
And, there was imitators after the first Child's Play.
There was an episode.
Masters, technically,
There was an episode of Twilight Zone with a killer dummy.
Yeah, you had the killer dummy.
I can't remember what the.
I need to see that.
Was. Yeah,
which was it? Tales from the Dark Side, or the other one that has the little native doll, the killer doll that runs around trying to kill the
Trilogy
lady?
of Terror.
Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah, Trilogy of Terror. That's real good. That movie
that has the little
that
doll.
I forgot about that creepy.
He's got like the razor sharp teeth and bites her like on the Achilles tendon or something. It's, no, I don't like that. No, Chucky was terrifying for kids, man. I remember just the movie posters, just that trailer right there. It was just like, man, that's supposed to be a toy.
Well, he was just so mean.
Yeah.
And
we had toys that look like him. There was like My Buddy and
Kid My Buddy was the big one. This was modeled off of that doll.
Jason and Michael, who didn't talk. Mm-hmm. You had Freddy, who was funny, but Chucky was mean.
Funny.
Yeah. But like when you're a kid, like a lot of your introduction was Nightmare 5 or something like that, I know I did not see the original one first.
I didn't watch the first Nightmare first. You know, I started like
Yeah.
No, I
Dream
think I saw
Warriors
3
something
first or
later.
something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
Because I think it would have stuck out with me more if I'd have watched the first one.
I also think it came out at a more age appropriate time
Mm.
than the first one. The first one was what, 87 or something, wasn't?
No,
Nightmare
it's
we're
even
talking
earlier than
about.
that, dude.
Is it
It's
earlier
like
than that?
yeah, it's
84s? Okay.
somewhere
Yeah.
in there. Like it's
I
one of
mean-
those like it's surprising. Like wow, like Freddy's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah.
87, 88, you're getting into the original Child's Play territory when that
Yeah.
came out for the first time. Which, speaking of seeing a movie first, Child's Play 2 was actually the first Child's Play movie I watched.
Oh, mine
Did
was
ya?
3, I believe, because I remember the military camp the most.
I watched 3 after 2, and then it was some reason we had just watched Child's Play not long ago. My daughter was getting into these, so we bought the collection, and I'm watching the first one with Jackie going, I don't think I've seen this movie all the way through.
Oh, really?
I never knew he left the apartment and goes out into the city. There was a ton of stuff I'm sitting there going, I don't remember. I remember he gets the doll, Chucky comes to life, he tries to kill him, he fights the mom, there's a cop that shows up, then the big ending, done. And Jackie looks at me and she goes, same. She goes, I don't remember any of this. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen the first one like from beginning to end. Yeah, it could have been a watch it and it fell asleep or some dumb
Sure.
shit, to sleep over.
The last time that I had watched it was right before the remake came out. Like I had freshened myself up.
Mm.
And kind of the same thing. I was like, there was parts I was like, I don't remember. Now with rewatching this one that I haven't seen in forever, it's like I definitely remember the factory. I definitely remember the school
I remember
teacher,
every bit of this.
you
movie.
know?
Yeah.
But one of the things that I absolutely adore about this movie is when it was over, I now want to binge everything Chucky.
Yeah.
Like, because I still haven't seen maybe it was Cult of Chucky. There was one of them, one of the newer ones.
Son. Oh,
I have
son.
not seen the new the new shows. Like, and then like when it was over, I was like, I kind of want to watch part 3 now. Like, just because
Yeah.
like the way it
When he's
ends,
in
it's
the
like, wait,
military
how
academy?
does he come
Yeah.
back? It's like I remember he gets killed by a giant fan, then he gets stitched back up for Bride. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's
Yeah.
this fragment memory, and it's like,
Yeah.
this sequel like catapults you to like I just want everything from this franchise now, because this one did everything that a sequel should do, of take what the original did and make it bigger and better.
I was just getting ready to say, I think after watching this again today, this is probably my favorite sequel. Like, they nail it. I like this more than I like the first one.
Ooh.
I love. I mean, look, I'm not going to disregard the first one.
No.
because
Nah,
of
first
what
one's
it
still a
did.
great
I'm
movie,
on board.
but
I'm
this
on
is
board.
what
it's
when you think
slower.
Chucky, you think this movie.
This is where he
This is
doesn't do
the
his
ideal
laugh.
Chucky.
He doesn't do his laugh until this movie. That laugh we all know that we're trying to copy.
Mhm.
He first does it in this movie. They actually recorded Brad Dourif's lines first so they could line up the animatronics during the filming better to his, because they did it the other way in the first one, which it's a little off. It's what you're used to when you see someone voicing a puppet. They fixed it for the second one. And Chucky's face in the second one is probably one of my favorite versions of Chucky. When he
Dude,
goes
it's
into
iconic.
the live, there's the doll version when everyone's around, but dude, when he comes to life and they add muscle movement under the plastic of just where he changes his expression, it looks evil. I love it. I love Chucky 2.
One of my favorite
Chucky.
scenes. So the animatronics was leaps and bounds better than the first film easily. There were like 9 puppeteers, but one of my favorite scenes is when he and what's the gal's name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Anyway, they're
Kyle.
driving and the cop pulls him over, and
Mhm.
he's telling her, "You shut the F up, you play nice, and you get us out of this." And he's got that mean Chucky face. He sits down, boom, he's right back into the doll like we all know.
And I don't think it cuts away. I think they
doesn't.
set
No,
it up
it
where
just-
it
like-
it morphs.
That's
It's
what
so
I mean.
wild.
That's my favorite scene. It was,
I love it.
Could go from just a plain Chucky face, plain friendly,
Good guy
boy,
doll.
good guy, doll, good boy, whatever.
Good guy. Good boy.
Good guy.
Good guy.
boy. Straight into evil Chucky without a cutaway, without a different head or a
Yes.
different mask or whatever you want to call it. It was just astounding to me how it was able to move around. And Nate, you just sent out a making of right before we hopped on, and it's only
did
like
you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, it's only like 6 or 8 minutes long.
I didn't
And
get a chance. I was busy.
They were screwing around. Like they had a guy in a face.
It was like motion cap almost.
No, yeah. I
Like early
suppose.
day, like what he was wearing though, like if his face moved, Chucky's face moved.
Right, he had sensors all
That's
over
what
his
was so
face.
cool about it.
So he could go.
so it's like
A, B, C,
servos
D.
and micro switches are hooked up.
Yeah, and every
So-
He's
time
wearing like
his
a
muscles
giant
moved,
chin strap. Yeah.
one of those servos or diodes, whatever, would move on Chucky's face. It was astounding.
Just like, when you see Chucky's face without his face on, just see all the mechanics to
I
how
love
they
that.
make that puppet's face work.
it was so fun, so much
The
fun.
only
I wish we would do that more often.
there's a very relevant movie that just dropped.
Ooh.
Was Del Toro's Pinocchio, where
still need to
they
watch
made
that.
That was real
so
good.
many different puppets that have different face. They could do mechanical facial structures as well. It's like
Yeah.
once you watch the movie, you have to watch the documentary on how it's made because it's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
Like,
I haven't gotten to the documentary, but that film is
Yeah.
is
It's on my
It's-
watch list. It's one of
Yeah.
those that I need to.
It's also
Oh, but I
like the
definitely wanna watch
longest stop motion only film ever. It's almost
Yeah.
2 hours long.
it's like 2 hours long. There's like single sweeping shots that are just gorgeous, and you're like, how the hell did they do this? And then you watch the documentary of them doing it. You're going, I still don't know how the hell you did this.
I mean, remember what he did with Hellboy 2 with that little mocap, the
Oh,
stop
yeah.
motion
Like,
stuff
yeah.
there. Everyone was like, I would watch an entire movie of that. Well, guess what? You're
Yeah,
gonna.
and
He did it.
and you
You're
got
gonna
it.
Yeah.
But like
So
the
if Del
same,
Toro
like,
does something, I'm going to watch it.
Pretty
tricks
much,
that's
pretty
used in that
much.
movie is used in this, and it's just so mind blowing that something
Mm-hmm.
so far ago, 32 years ago, could pull that off.
I think there's a gorilla movie or something. I want to say it's Congo that they did something similar. That the actor is wearing this apparatus
man,
on
I
their
forgot
face.
about Congo.
Conga. Yeah. Bruce Campbell's in that.
Bruce Campbell. I was going to say
Ernie
Bruce
Hudson.
My Lord
Campbell,
and Savior Bruce
Ernie
Campbell.
Hudson. Yep. That's,
Ernie
that's,
Hudson.
a,
That's right. Ernie Hudson's in that.
that's an underrated movie, man. Because I
I
remember
haven't
as a
seen
kid
that
being,
since I was a kid.
dude. I
don't think
remember
I've ever
being
seen that.
bored as shit. Oh, then I can't say what I was going to say. Pete hasn't seen it. All right,
I'll forget it. I'm dumb. I'm not.
I don't
smart.
think you're going to forget what I can't leave everyone hanging, but I remember being a kid watching it going, okay, it's kind of cool. Yeah, okay, there's a monkey. Then all of a sudden they're attacked by a bunch of monkeys and then lasers come out. And it is so
Whoa.
freaking awesome once the lasers come out.
Oh, heck.
They were like a geological thing. So they were like
Yeah.
mining lasers. They were still futuristic ish, but the lasers come out in the big climax of Congo. And it's like, this is the greatest movie ever, even though I was bored for an hour and a half. It's fine. But we're doing Child's Play too. So
We are doing
we're
Child's
gonna
Play
go
2.
later. I'm just gonna stand by it, man. I love how this movie starts. Like it's the factory trying to figure out, okay, what happened. They reference the first movie.
So great of like, hey, there's no way this happened. And
Right.
like, your doll is dead. He's burnt to a crisp. How do
Mhm.
we bring him back? We just rebuild him.
We
Problem
have all
solved.
the parts. We
Yeah.
have the technology. Let's just put it back together.
$6 million Chucky.
$6 million check. And
I feel like that's how much all these dolls would cost, though, for a parent to buy
Right.
during the
Yeah.
Christmas season.
that's what you tell your kid. It's like,
Uh-huh.
no,
Can't
it's
buy
way,
that.
way too expensive.
I was one of my problems with the film, and I got a couple of them. I got a couple of beefs with the movie, but there's just little teeny, nothing that takes away from the
Little-
value of the film.
Little tiny
but-
beef, little
but,
lamb chops.
So Chucky was made out of metal,
Yes.
Apparently.
but at the end
What?
he's not.
Right.
And
He's a
and
real boy at
Tommy-
the end.
he's a real boy. Yes, he's Pinocchio, the real life Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Tommy was made out of plastic because he got his face caved in. So maybe the OG had metal in it.
Yeah,
and
well, that was the.
subsequent versions.
So you have the
cheaped out and got-
pre-murdered, and then you have the
Pre-murder.
post-murder.
Right.
where they go, you know what? Maybe we should do some plastic instead of metal.
Yeah, because the first one only got burnt, which means they put the new skin, new clothes,
Yeah,
arms and shit on him. Now, the whole thing about he's metal is he's turning human, which is why he's full of blood and metal and wires at
Okay.
the end.
All right.
Because the when the dad throws him down the steps,
Yeah.
his nose is bleeding.
Uh-huh.
And this is one of the things I loved watching this again. Going, Chucky is one of those horror icons that I have no problem believing he comes back in the next movie. There is a good reason. It's supernatural because he's got, Charles
he's got
Lee
the power
Ray's
of voodoo
soul.
on his side.
Right.
Like when a movie decides to,
Dimbala.
go to that part of how it's explained itself, it's like, all right, well, I guess anything can go.
Right. And that's what I do like, that they've stuck with that for the most part. I know there's the remake they did that it's literally like an AI Chucky doll.
An episode of Treehouse of Horror from the Simpsons.
Exactly.
That's all that
it's
one
the
is.
crusty doll that tries to murder everyone.
Switch to evil instead of good.
But they have kept the Dimbala thing and the stone and the amulet throughout, and I love that they've stuck with that. And that's what. Okay, it's a doll. He can put himself in another body. He then tries to get the other kid in the third one. The younger kid instead of Andy, because Andy's like a teenager. So I like how they have stuck with that.
I just
as a storyline, and I buy it. I'm like, I Chucky's
buy it.
coming back. I'm
feel
totally
like
down.
Charles Lee Ray is a bumbling idiot. Like,
Yeah,
how was he a good serial killer? When you see some of the things that like Chucky does, and you're like, all right, even if he wasn't Chucky, I just picture Charles Lee Ray doing the same thing and just being a bumbling Mr. Magoo serial killer.
You remember how he dies in the first one, right? I mean, it's not like he was stealthy or anything. He ends up in a toy store.
Terrible.
Yeah, he's being chased by cops. They don't dig into it in the movies, but I guess they did a novelization that really got into Charles Lee Ray. His dad was I don't think his dad had anything special, but his mom was a dwarf, and Charles Lee Ray was autistic. And so his mother degraded him all the time for being stupid till he finally had enough, and he murdered her by strangling her, which is how he got the name. I forget what it is. It's whatever Strangler is what Charles Lee Ray is known.
Lakeshore Strangler, which when they mentioned that, my dumbass forgetting that that's what he was, I was like, I don't remember which serial killer that is. I'll Google that later. Then they were like, oh, Charles Lee Ray.
That's Charles
Lakeshore Strangler. I went, oh, that's
so
right.
From what I was reading, it's not like he was a mass serial killer. I'm guessing he probably killed a few people, but he actually got the name for strangling his own mother as a kid. And it kind of does play up with what you're saying. If he did have an issue, maybe that's why he wasn't that good at, being stealthy. And the first one, he visits that religious guy, which he finds out about the voodoo, the Dimbala, how to do the transfer. That at least gets explained in the movies, but I don't know. I kind of want to read the novelizations. They really fill out a lot of extra stuff that I think would be kind of cool.
We need Chucky, the graphic novel. I need pictures in order to read.
And then I think they throw it all out the window with one of the later. I think it's Cult of Chucky that they throw it out the window. That they come up with another thing of his.
Well, I know at Curse of Chucky, because I did see that one. They expand on the backstory of like what happened.
That might be it. It might be.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man. I can't remember which one's which past like Seed of Chucky. Like I don't know
you.
what one came out when.
I'm gonna be watching them like eventually.
I know Vincent, whatever his name is, Andy Barclay comes back. He comes back
in the show
into
too.
I think I did see.
He is in the show. Back. I saw the first season of that show on Shudder. I think. It's quite good. It's very, very good.
I'm with Nate. I need to take the time to sit down and watch it. I want to. But I love the Child's Play movies, man. They're so much fun.
This is one of my most favorite horror franchises. And I understand the ridiculousness and the absurdity of the premise. I don't care.
Exactly.
It's just fun.
That's what I like.
So
I don't
much
like.
Fun.
It's a killer doll. I know what I'm getting now. Like I don't have to like this whole thing we're talking about with Charles Lee Ray. doesn't matter really. Just give me Chucky going around killing people. That's all I want.
And he gets a girlfriend, and he has a son, and
Yeah,
it gets
I
better
mean,
and better.
Yeah, that's not supposed to work, but it does.
But
Okay,
You
it
should
does.
not have 7 movies and 2 seasons of a show with Chucky. By all means, this should have never worked.
But it does for all the
But
right
it works
reasons.
so well.
It
Yes.
does.
He kills
And I'm
John Ritter
happy it
eventually.
does.
You know, it's all great stuff.
You
I
got to
mean,
give
come
most
on.
of it to Brad Dourif, though. If the charisma of Brad Dourif didn't come through, that if his voice acting didn't come through that doll the way
It
it
would have
was,
never worked.
I
Yeah.
don't think it would. I mean, great voices of our time, James Earl Jones, could not have done what Brad Dourif did.
Whoa,
No.
whoa, 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 whoa. Now I
no.
want James Earl Jones to voice Chucky.
I don't know, man. He's a little too smooth for.
Yeah,
He needs to be a little crazier.
You wouldn't run away from that. You'd be like, "Well, I just really want to hear what this guy has
Whoa,
to say."
whoa,
to
whoa.
me
What's
right
this doll
now."
got for me?
Yeah, I think Nick Cage could do just as crazy, but I don't think he has an interesting enough.
No,
voice.
but because then you would just see Nick Cage as the
This
doll.
is true
That would be
also,
the
right,
problem.
right.
Well, it's like, Nick Cage did the voice for I think one of the animated things. It's called Croods.
Yeah.
the cavemen. It's really hard to even picture Nick Cage as that character. I need Nick Cage's face if I want Nick Cage on a movie.
He's in that
lo-
Spider-Man movie too. That Into the Spider-Verse.
he was
the noir Spider-Man.
Yeah, he
the
was.
noir
The
Spider-Man.
brooding Spider-Man. Shocker.
And it works, but I'm not when I watch it, I'm not picturing Nick Cage though. I think it's a good voice, but with what Don Mancini, I kind of relate this to like the Sam Raimi Bruce Campbell relationship. Those two made something magical, and that's what happened with Mancini.
Yes, they did.
And yeah, I mean, the voice just fits, and then to do the right kind of writing and the direction the movies were going, God, it just works, man. I buy it. I don't have any problem at all with this movie. Nate said Child's Play 2. I went, really? Okay. That was it. And that's where I was like, well, we'll play up on it on, returning your
feels
toys
like
after
Heavy
Christmas.
hitter that
It is and it isn't. You know what
You
I
know?
mean? It's not what people would consider a heavy hitter. I think this is one of those like
but he's one of the top like killers, like
Oh,
Oh, he's
Chucky
a
is.
horror icon.
Chucky's on the Mount Rushmore of slashers, or
like he's
80s,
definitely
90s
there.
slashers for sure.
100%. Now I do agree with you. If you go back and you're like, there's no way a killer doll is going to stand up with Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy.
Well,
No,
he's getting
it
beat by an
does.
8-year-old kid at every turn. Like Andy gives him a mean right hook at one point in this movie, and I love it.
Andy fights back pretty good in this one, man. I
Also-
dig it.
I like what blew my mind. I don't remember how tragic this movie is in the sense of like Andy gets thrown in a foster home.
Immediately.
That
It's
don't
just like,
like him.
oh, this
the
is so
start.
sad. Like he is instantly like taken away from his mom, and
She's
like
put in a mental institute.
She's put
because
into an
she's-
institute.
yeah.
Yeah.
like that's and it's a smart way of handling it. Of like she's the only one saying like, no, my son's right. This was a real doll. And they're like, no, you're all crazy. And because
Yep.
it's a multi-million-dollar toy company that's trying to save their ass, they're doing everything they can to just sweep it underneath the rug. That way it doesn't do a dent to their sales.
We got every bit of like backstory we needed right in like the first 5 minutes of this
Yeah.
movie, and I love
That's
it.
the
They're like,
brilliance of
what
this
about
movie.
what about the police? Because we know the cops saw the doll alive. They're denying it, and they even go, well, that sounds like the smart play. The mother's in a mental institute. Now they did talk about filming the courtroom scene
Yeah, there was
with
talking
the
about
actress. But whatever reason, they didn't want to use her, which is weird to me because she was married to the guy that does the puppetry for
is it
Chucky.
Kevin Yeager, I believe,
Yeah.
is the man that
So
created
she was
Chucky.
on set every day, but she's not in the movie whatsoever. It's just wild.
To me, though, like the Simpsons act like they don't want, Andy, or at least the dad is.
The
very
mom
much like,
does.
"Oh,
Now the
he's
mom
weird.
is
like, I don't. This is a weird kid. To me, if I'm a foster parent, even though I don't want kids, but if I had a kid going, no, I have a doll that kills people, you gotta listen to me. I'm like, I want that kid.
it's like
It's kind of cool. Well, what's
you're
he got?
going home with me.
Yeah. Whoa, we're going to talk about killer dolls. Wait till I tell you about haunted houses, my little man.
And how they were like, it's not a big deal when the literal version of the doll that he thinks tried to kill him falls
the amount of
out of the closet.
PTSD that you just
Right?
gave that kid because
Right.
you were like, oh yeah, I forgot we had a good guy's doll.
Oh, it's
You
just
should have swept that house real quickly.
Some other kid that we don't foster anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, that's just such a cold thing. Like, regardless of he thinks Chucky, he's a kid. Of course, he's going to think the doll's alive, even if it wasn't. That now terrified that kid enough to I wouldn't. The dad wouldn't have stopped me. He'd went down the steps. I would have been running. I'd have been out the
I think
house.
a normal reaction for that kid would have been to start bawling and run out of the room.
Crying, pooping, peeing, like everything.
If you see
Rip the doll's head off. I would have been down.
And then
for
we
that.
doll
meet
that tried
Andy's-
to kill you.
We meet Andy's, foster sister, Kyle, and they're like, you need to stop going to work because you need to spend time with your family. She's like, yeah, but like I turn 18 next year and I'll be on my own. And it's just like, well, you need to spend more time with your family. I'm like, let her save some money or maybe don't kick her out right at 18. What are you doing early 90s?
Well, she's also just sitting there smoking a cigarette in her bedroom. And
Yeah,
all the mom does is the dad's going to get really mad and kill you for that. I'm like, and then now you need to show Andy around and show him the ropes and help me make dinner. I'm like, that's it. That's all we're doing here.
It's a real quality foster home right here. They
It was
really,
great.
how did they get past the onboarding presentation?
I don't want to keep digging on because I did do some research on it. I didn't watch the behind the scenes, but there was supposed to be like this storyline that filled out their character. They actually filmed it, and the actress that played that mom is still pissed at this movie because they killed her character. Not that she dies, they killed her character arc. They're supposed to be like they've been trying to have kids, and they were also trying to adopt.
Oh,
and they
shit.
keep getting beat down by the system, so their only option was to be foster parents. So she's carrying a lot of baggage. That's why she's like mother henning Andy so much. She's like, I really like this kid. Let's give him a chance. She's the welcoming one. The dad
That's
is
one of those
just
things I'm
probably
torn. Like
tired
that would
of
have
it.
been great to have. But
Yeah.
this movie comes in at a mean and lean like hour and 23 minutes.
It's 88 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's like a
like,
straight
it's
88 minutes.
Super short, quick, and to the point, and like
But I love that.
I
though.
love it. Before that, it's a tight script and everything
Yeah.
pays off.
But I do feel like because they were talking like the dad wasn't nearly as much of a dick as he came off to be. Like you kind of, and that was one thing I did agree with. In the original way they wrote it, you sympathized with them, but because I didn't sympathize with them, their deaths didn't really mean anything.
The
to
mom
me
gets
in this
killed off
movie.
screen.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
totally gets killed off screen.
It's so
And other
disappointing.
than it's an homage to Hitchcock, that whole scene is from Psycho, where they
Mhm.
walk through the room, turn the chair around. That shot for shot, they did it because of Hitchcock. That's it. That's the only cool thing about it. The dad's death was filmed backwards. He starts hanging upside down, then they pull him up, and then they play the thing back in reverse. So you get the impact of the neck looks like it actually does break by doing it that way.
That was a
which I
good
like, well,
death.
that's in
Boy,
it.
that was
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a brutal
was
one.
choice.
Like, and to have that happen in front of Andy, because like even Chucky
that
getting
kid, I feel so
that word of what act like you haven't seen a dead body before.
Yeah, dude.
Just that
He is such
throwback
a
of like I
dick.
have tormented you before. Like, come on, grow
Yes.
up already.
Second nature.
By the time I
Yeah.
was your age, I've already seen 3 dead bodies.
Yeah, I mean, when he first comes to life after he takes over for the Tommy doll, he immediately is like, all right, time to get to work. I'm not messing around now. I'm not going to waste time. He's like, has Andy tied up and everything. And only because Kyle's sneaking back in does, it stop, like Chucky's not messing around in this one.
Chucky
And
comes
I
to
love
life because he's in the back seat of the toy maker, one of the toy maker executives.
that. Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Which that dude was very calm for having a doll come to life and point a gun at him. And he didn't question anything.
I kind of thought like he never paid attention that it was a doll. Like
I
he
started
thought
to
he was
think that
being-
too. Like I think
I
he started
think
to think he was
he's-
being mugged because he never he's always looking straight ahead.
Yeah, they don't do a shot of him looking through the rearview mirror, which is what you would expect in the movie.
Mhm.
Like look in the rearview mirror and you see a doll behind you. I think he literally thought he was getting mugged, which is why he doesn't respond because it's a squirt gun Chucky's holding to his neck. It wasn't a real gun. It's just weird how they did that. It's cool death,
like,
but
you get Chucky
It's a Black
instantly
Christmas
like
death.
using
Yeah,
the
it
car
is.
phone, like
Oh, he
he's
had the
making
car phone.
calls.
That's right.
He's going through Andy's
Oh,
file trying to
boy.
figure out which
I'm
house
his
he went to.
uncle. Yeah, all
Yeah.
that. I mean, this is so smart. I like how the sequel did this. There's nothing wasted when this story comes through. I'm like, he comes to life. He's on a mission. He's got to get, and they keep playing it up like, why don't just go get another kid? It can't be that hard. It has to be who he revealed himself for the very first time.
That was in the first film, I believe.
Yeah,
That
I think
was,
so.
but
Yeah.
they reference it again in this one.
Mhm. Yes,
You
yes,
know,
they do.
yeah, they say it again where I love it. They remind you without beating you over the head with it.
They don't
it's
do
like,
flashbacks which is something that, was a big thing in the 80s. Like, let's
Mhm.
show you the first movie all over you again.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
that's-
we'll
they
get to
used,
this
it was
movie.
the
Had
the
to time out.
psychiatrist scene.
Yeah.
Where the psychiatrist is basically walking you back through what happened in the prior movie through Andy's eyes, basically through his memory. And that's where he even tells the psychiatrist, well, why does he need you? He says, because he revealed his secret to me first. That's a scary dream. And I was like, you're such a putz. I hated the psychiatrist. I hate when people talk to kids like that. It was almost like he was talking down.
He
to
wasn't really listening. He was.
Oh, no, he
Yeah,
wasn't.
exactly.
It was definitely like, yeah, this
He was
kid's
just, oh, okay, you're crazy. Okay.
It was a scary nightmare. Mhm. If I
right.
say nightmare enough times, you're going to believe it was just a nightmare and not, all the dead bodies you witnessed and torture and, PTSD you're experiencing now because a doll tried to kill you.
I just
And
wish
when-
we could have had another doll that was possessed by a serial killer go into Tommy. That way we could have had a Tommy doll versus a Chucky doll fight. That's the
Tommy
movie I
versus
want to
Chucky.
see.
No, it's not. You don't want to see that.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to see another equally sized doll fight another equally sized? They have the same strengths. This isn't like UFC where you have a lightweight versus a heavyweight and it's not really fair. No. These two are equals in every way.
I think they do this in the show, don't they? Like this newest season is a bunch of
they?
Chucky dolls.
Yes.
They're a bunch
There
of
are-
Chucky dolls.
No, that was was that? Yeah,
Was
that
it
was.
last
Yes.
season or this
Yeah,
season?
no, you're right. It was the very first season. And at the end, yeah, he kind of makes copies of himself
Yeah.
and they start arguing. And
So you're going to kind of get that, I
Oh,
guess.
man,
I
Oh,
haven't
man, if we
watched
get like
it.
a Three Stooges Child's Play, I'm all for that too. Like three Chuckies arguing at each other and slapping
The
each other
trailer
around.
I saw was like some of them have different haircuts to distinguish each other from the main Chucky.
Oh my
It's like
God,
a Clone
amazing.
Wars kind of thing,
Right,
With,
with
the
all
Bad
the
Batch.
clones.
yes.
So we gotta watch the show, Nate. We got a lot of Child's Play to catch up.
We
with,
do.
but all right, man. Well, good time to take a commercial.
I
real
think
quick?
we should take
Sure.
a break. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll jump right back into it. We'll be right back.
We'll be back following these messages.
All right, Frank, just read from the cards.
I don't know, Stompy. This isn't what Sludge asked us to say.
Don't worry about it, little bro. Sludge hired us for this, and I know what's best.
Okay, Stompy.
Cue the music, maestro. Welcome to the Monster Movie Stomp Down with me, Stompy, and my little brother Frank.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Yes, you are. So join us, Sludge, Mark, and Ruben as we review monster movies from all around the world.
And don't forget about the monthly contest and trivia.
That's right, peasants. You'll find extra content like the Underdogs, Monster Mash Wednesdays, Friday Night Fights, each week exclusively on our Facebook and Instagram.
So please join us at the Monster Movie Stomp Down.
Your one-stop shop for monster movie reviews, interviews, news, contests, and of course, me, Stumpy.
And Frank.
Hi, pal. My name's Corky. Come on and be my best friend. I'll tell you stories and we'll play together. We can pretend. Wanna be monsters?
Not really.
How about circus ringmasters? Or race car drivers? Gee, Corky, when you talk about something, it's almost real. I know some great songs, too. We will be best friends.
Corky. He's Cricket's little brother by Playmates.
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Killboy Kreitz.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete.
IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again.
As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Welcome back.
So like always, I try to find some fun things for the commercial break, and I stumbled upon something. Now, originally I recorded the My Buddy commercial, My Buddy, because it's the most annoying song in the world, My Buddy.
And me.
But then it had these other suggestions, and there was one called the Corky doll, which is basically its mouth moves, it talks. It's just like a good guy doll. And it came out in 1987. So Corky and the My Buddy are the influence for Child's Play, but there's another connection. Ooh. The voice of Corky is Eden Gross, who also did the voice of the good guy doll.
No.
Not Chucky's voice. The good guy doll voice is the Corky guy doll voice.
Googling this Corky doll, and its eyes are staring directly into my soul.
The commercial is terrifying.
Dead eyes.
And it has that weird kid from like some horror movies, and I can't remember his name.
This doll has kids locked in its basement.
It does. Like, why they made Child's Play now, watching that commercial.
Yeah, like, I don't even want to watch the commercial of this creepy bastard.
But watch the commercial, and the kid is just as
curly
creepy.
Hair.
Oh my
This
God,
reminds
dude.
me, did you ever have, like, one of your grandparents that had one of those dolls that, like, sits in the corner and looks like it's crying?
Oh, yeah, the porcelain with the porcelain faces and the...
Oh, no, this didn't have
dresses.
a face. It'd just be, like, them in the corner, like, with their head, like, in the corner.
the hidden face doll.
Yeah,
Like,
I hated
the
those
arms
things.
were up in a corner.
Yeah.
I have seen those.
Grandma had one of those, and
no.
diabolical little bastards at my parents' place now.
Yeah, that's those are almost as bad as clowns.
What was wrong with us as a society with dolls and Corky? Why is his name Corky? I don't even trust that.
I have no idea. Apparently, is the younger brother of Cricket, which was the girl version of
the
it,
girl
which actually
version
came
of My
first.
Buddy. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember
It's-
her. I don't remember Corky.
Oh, honestly, everybody go Google
Yeah,
or
I'll have
YouTube
to-
that trailer. You'll see the kid in it too going, oh, shit, I know that kid. That's that weird kid. He's not quite the Children of the Corn one. He's the one that's a little bit more psychotic looking. Yeah,
More psychotic than the kid from Children of the
I'm
Corn?
not joking. You'll see him.
Kid
you'll
looks
know
like he's gonna this doll looks like he's gonna live in a shed and then mail bombs to certain people in the government.
Wow. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
like
that kid's
this doll at all.
I'm pretty sure that kid's Charles Lee Ray. That's exactly what it
like
is. Nate's infatuated now. It's
I
like it's one of
am.
those,
I can't stop looking at it now.
I
It's
can't look
like-
away. I was so happy to find it though, because I was hoping for either the My Buddy or there is a good guy commercial from the first
doll
movie.
roots for Jaws in the movie
And-
Jaws.
And it has such terrible audio I couldn't pull it. And then apparently because I was looking up Child's Play, YouTube knew I wanted Corky.
Yep.
All right, man, let's quit talking about that scary doll and talk about another
shit.
scary
Doll
doll.
that could make Chucky scared.
Yeah, so let's get back into the Chucky scary doll version of this show. So we've kind of talked about him a little bit, but I think we should talk a little bit about what Chucky's known for, man, and that's the kills.
For sure.
That's what he does kind
It's
of
what he
well,
does.
I
And
guess.
I think one of the things about the Chucky films that the Child's Play, whatever, Chucky films, that especially the early ones, the the kills in the films early on, like the first or second kills, Chucky's real good about. And Nate, you're saying that he's a bumbling fool, but those first couple of kills always look like an accident. Every last
that's
one.
the great thing about it is like it makes it look like Andy's doing it.
Is it not? It looks like Andy's doing it. It looks like it was an accident. All this stuff, even the in the beginning of the first season. It's a funny scene where there's a maid in this house and she's doing the dishes, or I should say filling the dishwasher, and she put all of the kitchen knives facing straight up. Now,
as one does.
Yeah, I put
as a homeowner,
up, my forks,
someone
my
that has
spoons,
done a number of
my
dishes in
knives.
his life, you never let knives point straight up. For heaven's sakes, that's dumb. Dumb. And sure enough, Chucky trips her or something like that, and she falls straight on all these knives, killing her. And one of the things the police says is like, "Oh, you'd be surprised how often this happens." Now I want to talk to some law enforcement and ask them exactly how often that does happen.
It's another dishwasher knife accident.
And if
Right.
you're putting your wooden handle knives in there, you should go to jail immediately because you don't.
It's a 1042 or something. Death by kitchen knives.
Another dishwasher knife incident.
Right.
But that was really one of the really cool things that once you stop and think about it is because of the stature of Chucky. No matter what he does, it does kind of look like a kid did it, which is why it's so much like in the first one where they're like, no, Andy's doing this. He's
the first one really plays into that of like,
push
Andy
the babysitter out the window, does all this other stuff. But I mean, even in this one with the teacher, he uses the air pump, which honestly would have been more torturous of a death, but then just beats her to death with the yardstick.
Yeah.
Which is from this. It's so funny. It is hilarious. There's a lot of blood for a little bit of.
I just picture this little arm going back and forth, and like if it's hitting you, like I just picture just giving you like a little smack and be like, knock that shit off.
Somebody went to Catholic school and got whacked a lot by the nuns.
Well, you bring that sucker down knife edge.
This is my revenge.
Knife edge man. It's going to hurt.
That's true. It should hurt. Yeah.
But that's one of the other cool things I like about it is I believe Chucky's stronger than what he appears to be. The way, he's able to grab onto people when they're trying to. We have a friend that is determined that Chucky is no match for anyone.
Right.
And all you got to do is kick this thing. All you got to do is all these weird, not weird, just normal common sense ways to get away from Chucky.
Yeah, our buddy is pretty determined that there's nothing that could get Chucky to get him.
Right. But if you're expecting it, I think he's on to something.
I feel like even if Chucky had chloroform and was sneaking up behind him, Cody would win.
I did like that he comes from the top in the closet there on the teacher. A lot of it is like where the other way, like in the basement, whenever Andy goes down to fight him with the bread knife, is he's looking everywhere he would hide. He was looking like, I'm going to check the dryer. I'm going to look
like if
behind
I'm
here.
doing hide and seek, because that's exactly what we would do as a kid if we got to play hide and seek inside
Chucky
the house.
plays Death from Above and literally comes from above him and lands on top. Like watching the movie, you're like, oh shit, I forgot he comes from the top.
Yeah.
How'd he get up there?
About that, it like the scene with the teacher and the scene with Andy, and it's just like, all right, we know Chucky's gonna pop out somewhere. It's that classic 80s trope of when is it going to happen and the psych outs. And it's like, I love
the
that
dodgeball
so
that falls.
Much. Yeah, it's just like.
The music is setting the tone and all this, the tension's there. It's just
a horror
dodgeball
trope that I adore so much that this movie nails,
That is one of his signature moves. He came from above 3 times in this movie.
Yeah.
In the closet and then in the basement and then in the factory, he hit Andy from above also.
Yeah.
So he knows his angles, I suppose.
Now
you think Andy would get wise to that eventually going,
look up. You start looking up, kid.
But before we move off of that kill though, air pump, guys. Who thinks to just pump that air pump into someone's chest? That is
I was always scared of getting stabbed by the air pump as a kid with the basketball.
So
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's this movie.
I had trade school as a teenager, and I took auto mechanics. And one of the safety things the teacher taught and really beat in our heads was do not use the blowgun and point it towards yourself or use it to clean off your body. If you have a cut or something, it's potential that it would blow an air bubble into your blood vessel. Now, whether that's true, look, now whether that's true or not, from what I understand, it would take a lot, because I have another story. But just because he said that to teenagers,
you know what? I do remember at one point my uncle saying, "Don't press that button; it'll make the boat blow up." And now I'm scared to press any buttons on a boat.
Exactly.
So.
All I have to do is put that little bit of fear in you.
I'm not joking. I was like 26 when my one buddy went, "Yeah, that was your uncle probably being like, hey, you little shit, stop touching stuff. If you press that button, it'll blow up." And then I had that realization, oh man, you're probably right.
That son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was talking about how, like, you know, you got to be careful with a boat because you could blow it up if you press like the wrong button. That's not a real thing, dude.
Not really. Not really.
But I was so dead set.
Nate can't watch that part in Men in Black. Don't press the red button.
All right, I won't press it. If anything, I'm a really good listener, ladies.
Oh,
ladies.
Oh my God.
You'll also fall for anything, ladies.
That's it.
I also have 2 brain cells that have the equivalent of a walnut.
If she tells you she has a mouth troll, don't believe her, though. That's what Clerks 2, Pete.
Her name is Lister Fiend.
Lister Fiend. Child's Play, guys. Get back on track.
Child's Play. Andy is so dead set, like, Chucky's back. Chucky's back. Here's the doll. If I'm the foster dad, I'm elbow dropping that doll. I'm throwing him into a wood chipper. I'm Fargoing him. You know, I'm like, all right, you know what, kid?
Fargo.
This doll is going. It's got to go. I'm not going to just throw it down the basement, which I don't know how Chucky got out of the basement to kill the teacher.
The window.
Oh, it's always the window.
Pretty much, as a father, whether you are a real father, an adopted father, a father-in-law, or a foster father, if something is bothering the child that you are protecting, and it's something as silly as a doll, yes, it's going in the incinerator. Or
you
I'm
remove
going to run over with a car.
The problem.
Right, and I'm going to destroy it enough that the child knows that this thing is not going to F with.
I'm not going to throw it in the basement, which is already a terrifying place for a child.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm going to drive that thing to New Jersey and let it be Jersey's problem.
This movie came out the same year as Home Alone, and there's an entire segment of that kid being terrified of the basement. Where are we going to throw the Chucky doll? In the basement. No, screw you, Dad. That was bad parenting.
Hey, Andy, go get the laundry in the basement. Hell no.
I'll wear my underwear inside out. It's fine. I got an extra day.
I won't wear underwear.
That's day 3.
That might be day 1. Who knows? Who needs
we're not here to judge, Pete. It's totally fine. I only see you from the chest up, so we're totally good.
I can fix that.
Nope. Please stay seated until the plane has come to a complete stop. Go, Nate, you got something to say. Go ahead, say it.
Well, it was just more of the point of how sad this movie is. After Phil dies, like Joanne's reaction to it and her looking at Andy going, "Get away from me."
Yeah.
You know, it's like Andy cannot catch a break.
This kid is tortured.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's the horror of this horror movie, is the torture Andy's going through in this.
I mean, all of these deaths that he's seeing, all this mental abuse he's taking. On top of that, his foster mother sends him to school with egg salad in his freaking lunch.
Oh, he's the egg salad kid.
Mother sends egg salad to school with you for an 8-year-old or something.
No.
That's you want to talk about torture?
That's
because someone's going hungry.
He never got a break even at school lunch. Thanks,
Even-
Pete. Thanks
even
for
at
reminding us about that.
And even on the playground. No, it was on the bus. Like a random kid just punches him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, kids are
You know?
asses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's getting picked on by the kid right behind him in class, which is why he has to stay in class. You know, it's
Well,
the
that
kid-
and
you're like
Andy did leave a really mean note for the teacher.
he didn't write it. He didn't.
Now
And
that was
cool.
definitely Andy.
You're watching Chucky do this, and you're like, what is he digging through papers for? And then you get the payoff later where he's like, "F you, bitch," on the paper.
Right.
He was looking for Andy's paper. I'm like, that's how sadistic this little shit is. That he's like, I'm going to
He's
take
just
your...
an asshole.
I was like, I hope when you take over Andy's body, they still shit on you as bad as he was getting shit on as he was Andy. And then you're going to be like, damn, man, I should have thought that through a little bit more.
I hope
before
Charles,
let
when
it-
he takes over Andy's body, has to go through an entire awkward puberty phase again.
Uh-huh.
Right?
That's what
Why
I
wouldn't
want.
you take a teenager at that point or a 20-year-old?
Yeah.
Don't go all the way back. Jump forward a little bit if you can. You know?
Oh, it'd be terrible. But you would be like the world's first like 8-year-old serial killer, so that would be an interesting accomplishment.
I mean, and yeah, they try to do it with Bride of Chucky, where they get the older couple and they're gonna body swap in there because that's when they start getting a little loosey goosey with the rules.
Oh,
Now that
yeah.
we have Tiffany involved.
That's
and
where we
everything
just go
else.
full blown comedy.
Yeah, which is still good and great kills in that movie too. but
Oh, the kills
yeah.
in Bride of Chucky are so
it's so
choice.
good. So good.
Choice.
But I love the kills in this one, man. Like the first person that dies pretty much is by electrocution. And it ain't just he gets shocked. He goes flying back through a window in front of like 10 people. And
Through the window, right?
Through
He
the
backflips
window.
through the window.
And does really sell the point that he's dead. The EMS come rolling in with the gurney and you watch him drop the white sheet. Because I'm like, did he die? Because I'm doing the body count. There's a white
Plop.
sheet going
Yeah.
down. Yep, he did.
did.
They really tried to send it home. And then the foster lady, that was a weird death, but it's funny. They're doing it for a gag, with the copy machine and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. That was pretty good. I
Yeah.
did enjoy that one quite a bit.
And
I'm not
there-
sure she deserved that.
I don't
death,
think so.
but
She was the nice one. She
Oh
was
no,
the one
she was
that-
a good one.
She was pretty. She's
Yeah.
a pretty good person.
I also
but-
don't think Joanne died. Like, if anything, I want the show to give us justice for Joanne. Because
she had her throat slashed, I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was slit. Yep.
Yeah. Because she had
But
the
again, like
fabric
Nate said,
wrapped
it was-
around her.
It was off camera, and that was disappointing. Like that.
Yeah,
would've
like,
been- I'm sure
this
they
is the-
filmed that and then cut it for whatever reason.
probably
It was
just to
just-
keep that runtime short, because I know one of the main complaints of the first movie was it's too long and like it takes
It's
so
slow
long to get the
paced.
stuff. Yeah,
It,
which
that's
I think
probably
pays
why I
in
was
favor of the movie, but it also like Charlie said, makes it harder to remember certain beats.
Yeah,
of the
there's stuff
film.
I totally missed in the
But
first one.
when we get to like Joanne's death and like Chucky attacking Kyle, like he's in full feral mode at this point.
oh, it's a great fight scene.
He's
between him and her.
deranged, you know?
And she has, when he grabs that knife when it's on the floor, and her reaction, because she's like, she sees the knife, she's still not 100% sure what's going on, and that hand just shoots out from under the bed, grabs that knife, and you're like, oh shit, it's
shit.
on. Like Chucky's got a knife now. He's got a bladed weapon. That's what we all been waiting for.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
for
doesn't
him to
use a
have the
gun-
knife.
Yeah, he doesn't use a gun in this movie. It's this one and one more are the only two movies he doesn't either use
I
a
don't
gun
remember
or
which
get
ones
shot.
he uses one.
I don't remember him using in a gun in the last two films, Cult and Curse.
See, I got to go back to
I
those.
don't remember.
I think that it was either he either doesn't use a gun, or at least in the movie he gets shot at some point by. A
he
gun.
gets shot in 3, I think.
I think he gets shot in
'Cause it's-
1, 3,
in 1 for sure. Yeah.
Bride of Chucky, Seed
Oh,
of
yeah.
Chucky. He uses a gun in Bride of Chucky. He uses a gun
He
in
uses a nail
Seed.
gun. I know that.
I think he gets John Ritter's pistol after he kills him, and he kills one of the other cops. I don't know. I got to revisit them. We're not talking about those. We're talking about Child's
Yeah,
Play
we're talking
2.
about Child's Play 2.
But anyway,
and,
there's no gun involved, so it's like he's going to get the knife, and now he's even more deadly than he was before.
Gents, can we talk about the knife though? The knife.
Sure,
Of course.
The knife. The most bad AF thing in the entire movie where Chucky takes the hilt of the switchblade off and shoves it down his arm.
Oh, into a stump?
His stump to create a bladed arm. It was so good.
It's a boot knife, but we'll let you slide for a second. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, to Chucky, that's a regular size knife, okay?
It's not about the size; it's how you use it.
It's a katana for Chucky.
It's not just
the entire final act is amazing.
It really is.
I love
Kyle
the final
is
act.
the worst at navigating a warehouse. I've been in many, many warehouses in my day. All
Okay,
you
so
do
I
is
got a
go to a
question for you.
wall and just like follow the wall. You find a man
You've
door.
been in a lot of warehouses. Have you ever been in a factory that has such a mousetrap feel? Like the board game Mousetrap. This thing has like a Rube Goldberg
aesthetic
assembly line, a Rube Goldberg assembly line, as these dolls are coming from point A to point B and going to point.
Now, I have been in
points
some loud
between.
places that have a lot of, let's just say, shit on the floor, you know, where people would be walking. Once
It's like a
again, you
spiral
find the
slide
wall
going down at
and
one
you
time.
just follow the wall. You don't go up and down the conveyor belts, left and right, sideways, diagonally. She
had
is
that-
just the worst at navigating. You find
That's
a wall,
true.
follow it. That's it. That's Nate's survival tip for when an evil doll is attacking you. Find a wall. Follow
Whenever
it.
they find the exit and you have to go through the machine to go out the exit.
The machine that's putting eyes in the dolls. Yeah, and you gotta time it just right. She was trying to recreate like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but with toys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sadly, she
You
wasn't
know
wearing a
that
hat.
machine, while it probably isn't exactly like that's how they put doll eyes in. There's little like arms that spread the plastic out,
they
and
make
they
the
pop
eyes
the
open.
eyeballs in. Yes,
That's legit.
That's
That's
a
legit.
legit thing for a lot of dolls.
It's
just
fantastic
weird.
kill where you have a security guard who, for whatever reason, doesn't
Oh
do
my
lockout,
God.
tag out procedures to, check on that assembly line, fixes it real quick, and then Chucky just gives him a little push, and those eyeballs.
Oh,
I love
so
it.
good.
Him having the doll eyes, amazing.
Right into your eyes.
He looks like Christopher Lloyd and Roger Rabbit when he goes full
He
tune
does.
at the end.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in
Total Recall.
Recall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. But yeah, I love those kills. For the amount of kills we get, which are awesome in this, the grossest things all involve Chucky though.
Oh,
when he
yeah.
has to rip his hand off to get
So
unstuck,
good. Yeah.
and it's like they've set it up that he's now becoming human so he can bleed. So that's why there's like wires and plastic and blood and veins when he pulls his own hand off, which gives us the Pete version of stab that knife right into the bloody stump, tape it up and go to town. But then they make the plastic feel gross. That
They
melted plastic, the doll that gets all the parts shoved into it at the top of the conveyor. Not even the part with Chucky, just the doll being shoved with all those extra parts and plastic came out looking gross.
It looks like something from The Thing.
Yeah.
In
That's
doll
exactly
form.
what it looked
in
like.
my notes, Chucky turns into the Thing.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
right
He does. Yeah, I mean, he gets ooey gooey.
He does have red pubes for a second, though. Did you notice that?
I did not.
Whenever the hair installer staples him to the platform, there's hair hanging from between his legs. So
I didn't notice that.
the carpet matches the curtains. That's all I can say.
I love though that
He's a
Andy
ginger.
is
They are
operating
terrifying.
all the machinery too. He's just like, oh, you press this button, this is how you pour the hot glue. Like,
Yeah.
but he's got a
he-
future here.
He
is all I'm
doesn't
saying.
bump into that control panel at first. I swear to God, he jumps into that control panel when he first hits it because that kid hits it with some force. And Kyle's like, "What did you do?" And then all of a sudden, he knows what buttons to push.
Yeah.
Oh, I just push this one, and then I push that one, and then the half of Chucky comes out, and you think, oh, okay, this is the end of the movie. This is awesome. You know, there's blood, there's plastic. And then he comes out like Eddie Murphy from Trading Places on the little scooter. Say, hey man, you got $1? And he has I got no legs, man. I got no legs. And he comes chasing poor Andy down, which is where we get the awesome melted plastic part. But I love this whole ending in the factory is what really
well,
the
it just keeps
crescendo of the
upping
film
the
is
ante.
really good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You know, that he's melting in that plastic. It's all on top of Kyle being knocked out on the conveyor belt, who's about to get her head lopped off by
Pretty much,
the closing doors, the Star Trek, the original series doors that
Right.
just inexplicably open and close. Like, we got to get the lithium crystal into there, but we got to time it just right.
I'll
Her
tell you,
head's
though,
about to go through the damn
that's
thing.
way more deadlier than like the luggage rack from Die Hard 2.
I knew somehow
Yeah.
you're going to bring that back.
Way more. Now, I gotta say, in my alternate world, Child's Play 3 just follows Chucky as a human.
Okay.
So, like, he gives up his ways of killing and just, like, has to file taxes and, like, forgets to take the trash out. You know, he just
Nate,
has
that
minor
sounds terrible,
inconveniences. No, it's a really good idea. Trust me.
That's
what
terrible.
we're gonna do.
Like,
Child's Play
literally,
3.
the third one, we get to go into the military academy, which is
No.
even better.
I want part 3 to be him just accepting that he is now stuck in
So-
human form as a doll.
So Chucky's going to become an accountant,
Yes, basically.
and he's,
He's
going to
working
wear
like a 9-to-5
visor.
office job. He's not liking
He's-
life.
All right,
gotta
I got to fix this. So at the end of the TV show, he's going to sneak on to a SpaceX shuttle, and we finally get Chucky in space.
Yes.
We
That's
haven't
where
had
we're
Chucky
going.
in space yet.
We have not, and there's no reason he can't survive in space. So
No, he
Chucky in
doesn't
space.
even need the helmet. That's the best
Nope.
part.
Nope, totally fine. All right, we have descended into chaos.
Yes, that's
we
Child's
have,
Play too.
We have killed
Chucky in
Chucky.
space.
I think we have now set up a new spinoff. We'll maybe they can send the AI version of that Chucky doll movie and make him go
You
to
can
space.
see the disappointment in Pete's face of just like, how have we not had Chucky in space yet?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
it's
sad.
it's palpable how much he's
Yeah. This is really affecting him.
Yes.
I can't,
All right,
I can't
boys.
believe it. We had Leprechaun in space, for heaven's
We
sakes.
did. We had
did.
Jason in space.
Jason in space.
Yeah.
Not
Hellraiser
Chucky.
in space.
Yeah. Hellraiser. Yeah. See.
We haven't had Freddy in space.
Not yet.
Yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
You
boys.
can
Let's
still have dreams in space.
We learned that in Event Horizon. Raining Blood time. This is fair. There's 7.
Oh, that's good.
Seven
it's great.
deaths. I think that's that for a slasher. That's actually really good.
There's like when you get for like you said, for a slasher, that sounds maybe even a little high for a slasher.
It kind of
Maybe right-
is.
But like your action movies are definitely like
Yeah, Die Hard
bullets
2.
and guns and shit.
Die
you know,
Hard 2 was 271.
It's-
So it's
right. It's that gets
Child's Play 2 is 7.
But it's like you
I guess-
remember all 7 of them, you know?
right?
you do,
and
yeah.
that's
they're
a
all
good
well
slasher
done.
is intimate, and a good slasher
Mm.
is it's up close and personal, which is why it's always scarier to be stabbed than to be
Ooh.
shot.
An intimate
Always
slasher
scarier
by
and
the
that's
fireplace.
really the to me in my world the the divider is if you shoot somebody, if you stab somebody. That's the difference between an action movie and a horror movie, which Terrifier is taking a liberties with that line that I've drawn in the sand.
What if you get shot with a knife?
Well,
What if
now we're
the
talking
knife can
complete
be
absurdity,
shot at-
and
yeah.
I'm on board.
I was gonna say, blade shot stakes. It's not hard to sharpen one of those.
And what is it? Excalibur had the sword that shot. He had a 3 blades.
that
or
was
something.
not Excalibur.
Not
That
Excalibur?
was Sword and Sorceress.
Sword of Sorceress.
One of those. I'll
One-
get ridiculed
one of
for
those.
that. But it's the 3-blade sword movie. from
Three-blade
the
sword,
80s.
right.
Yeah, they shot out the blades. Yeah. So
Dear listener, yell at us and tell us what movie that is.
email us at gmbmampod@gmail.com. All right, boys, let's pick our favorite of the 7.
Let's do it.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
All
Pete.
right, Charlie. Wait.
Oh, I gotta go first?
Yeah.
Oh, we usually start with Pete, but I'll go first.
Oh.
That's fine.
Well,
'Cause
you know,
I want to
switch
get
it
out of
up.
the way because I kind of have a feeling I'm not going to be the only one that picks this, but I'm picking the technician at the end that gets the eyeballs shoved into his head.
Damn it!
Hey, that just means it's even more the kill of the week, Pete. If we
yeah.
get same,
if we're in sync, yeah.
Okay.
That's actually the goal that we originally started this.
Yeah, the
was
goal
it
was
was
to make
supposed
sure-
to be the kill, not kills of the week.
Okay.
But then we got some
we
movies
made
that
it
were
plural.
really freaking awesome, so we had to talk about more. But we could totally get samesies. But the eyeballs getting driven into the technician at the end, and then he is swung across the factory upside down, and it's such a dummy. It is such a dummy that they
it's a good
drop
dummy.
him. They drop him, and you just see it the thump. It's just,
so good.
I
It's
love
so
it.
good.
I love it.
Uh,
So, Pete, that's your kill of the week too.
Absolutely. 100%. That is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
has to be.
It happened so quick. You went, oh, and then you're dead.
Well,
and they got a close up of his face with these golf balls in his eyes.
It's like
so
they foreshadow it, so you're like, okay, he's gonna get like maybe hit in the back of the head or something. But I'm like, they went for it, and
right
they didn't do the cutaway either, where you just imagine it. Nope, we get to see him with the tall eyes and blood out the side of his face.
So
I love it. I love it.
I'm on
Nate,
board.
which one are you picking?
Oh, it's obviously that one with a little.
All right, we're all
asterisk.
the same.
We are. This is the kill
that
of the
a
week. The
first?
definite. I think it's happened a couple times.
Has
For
it?
all,
Okay.
all
I
three
think
of
for all
us, I
three
don't
of
think-
us.
This
all
is a
three of us,
first.
this is
Now, I
definitely-
just have a special, mention
Okay, honorable mention.
Yes,
what you
yes.
got?
is Chucky's death, because when he is
Which we don't
full of
count.
just
We don't count the
goo-
main protagonist.
Exactly. Full of goo and just exploding.
Oh, dude, when he
It's
does
amazing.
the
It's
Big
such a
Trouble
great
in
practical
Little
effect.
China
Yeah.
explosion,
That's right.
like I swear to God, it's just it was like a real life garbage pail kid moment. That's what that looked
It
like.
definitely was.
Yes, love it. Absolutely love it.
But his head is metal, right? That's part of my. That's another
He's
one of my
turning
beefs.
into
But
human.
now he's human at this point.
See,
Who's
you're
gonna
trying
have to do taxes?
with the Chucky franchise. That's where they can take the rules and make it, but they set it up.
Oh.
I am transforming
Okay.
into human,
Right.
so he'll have less metal and metallic in him, which is why there was a lot of blood with the plastic. Now the original ending after that was they were going to show like pieces of him fall in the vat, and that was going to be for part 3. But what they do is, instead of filming it for the end of this one, that's actually how the third one starts.
Yeah.
Is-
And, like, that's the great
Yes.
part of this movie as a whole. The stuff that they couldn't do in part 1 that they wanted to do, they kept that in the
moved it
bank
forward.
and just
Yep.
moved it into this. And it's just like, that's such a brilliant move, and it makes it feel even more seamless of a transition.
Yeah, the whole teacher thing was something Mancini wanted in the first one and
Yeah.
couldn't do it. So it obviously they sent him to school in the second one. So it
Wasn't the
just
courtroom
works.
scene also in later, like in Cult or something?
Ooh, I
There-
don't
there-
remember.
Brad Dourif's daughter is in those.
Brad
Oh,
Dourif's
nice.
daughter is in that. Now I don't remember if the courtroom scene gets brought up, but they do talk again about the mom, why she's not seen again.
Yeah.
basically. But
They keep
All
going
right.
back. They've got
Well-
all these good ideas, and they keep going back to them because they're good ideas.
Yeah,
They just
it's
didn't
like
work at
they're
the
great
time.
ideas.
Yep.
All right, so I feel like though at this point we gotta do some machetes.
yep, let's rate this bad boy.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. Whew.
All right, Pete, what's yours?
Man, it's so good, but it's not great. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Fair.
Oh no, that's a good score.
I think that's fair.
I think that falls in the great category.
Guys, we've had some bangers here. I mean, we
really have.
We had 2 10s in a row. And I look at this movie, I'm like, this is nowhere near a 10. And I was dipping to a 7, but I really like this. And the whole franchise as a whole, it just brings it up. So I'm going to say an 8. There you go.
Fair.
Nice.
I think it's fair.
What about you, Charlie?
I'm right there with Pete. I'm giving it an 8. And like I said, I like this more than one. Honestly, this is my favorite entry in the Child's Play franchise. Now, there are other movies that I have more favorite kills, but a kill does not make an entire movie. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Like I adore Bride of Chucky because of what they did with it and stuff.
Because it's Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. But as far as a Child's Play franchise movie, I think number 2 is by far the best entry in them.
Interesting.
They go harder, but they don't do what we're used to with sequels, where it gets overly ridiculous. They try way too hard. They like Nate was saying, they took what they couldn't do in the first one. They did it in the second one. They did things better in the second one. They fine-tuned it, and then it continued. And now we have 7, 8, into a TV show.
To add to that, I think they kept it grounded to a degree.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It was still not completely
This is before
absurd.
it really gets exactly absurd is the word.
Once
As
it gets
goes
Bride,
on,
it gets super absurd. And then it gets to Child. Is that the one?
Seed of Chucky is
full comedy,
where it just goes, what did I watch?
And then
awesome kills.
Chucky went away for a while, and then that's when
right
Don decided to bring it back with Curse. It was like, no, we're bringing this back to its horror roots.
Yeah, I think 3, it got tired. Like the whole idea was tired, and then they flipped the switch and went to Bride, and they went, okay, let's take this in a different direction. And they had Bride and then Seed. Well, and Seed was what it is.
Yeah,
and I love it for what it is. But the last 2, that Curse and Cult, those are bitchin' films, fellas. If you haven't seen them,
for a horror going back to roots, like we're saying, they lose the absurdity of Child's Play and they go more dark in those.
They keep the humor quotes.
Oh, the humor's there. The absurdity
of 1
though.
and 2, but it's a fresh take. Both
because this
Cult.
one is not absurd whatsoever.
No. This is a straight horror movie.
I am buying. Yes, it's a killer doll. Once you get that in your head, I am watching a movie about a killer doll. Everything works in this movie. Everything is totally fine. I buy it. I am there. Like you said, it's more grounded. I really feel like they could have just jumped the shark for a sequel. No one would have faulted them because it's a movie about a killer doll. They elevated the series with the second one, in my opinion. They took what they didn't do in the first one,
and it
elevated
it. This movie was a hit. It was number 1 at the box office that opening weekend. It made $31 million. And then they fast tracked part 3 and it bombed because, when you're putting a movie out 9 months later, well, you don't have people having enough time to I want that next one, like that. Oh, when's that coming for us? Like you just instantly gave it. And
they were cashing their checks way too early. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you do
that,
hop,
really
is another
hurt
thing that hurts.
Because we don't get the original Andy, we had to get someone older because
and
of the
I get
story
it because they didn't
wanted
want to do a third movie of Andy being a kid, and you want to have that. What if Chucky has to fight Andy as a teenager who's now?
Then they should have
waited.
They should have let Vincent age, and get to the age he needed to be. Because not only are you waiting for him to become older, technology's moving further ahead, so you can produce a better quality. Like the Chucky 3 dolls pale in comparison to even Bride of Chucky.
I have to watch it again. I think I've only seen it once.
Number 3, they even kind of cheap out where he's literally carried 90% of the movie by the other kid in the camp. There's a lot of it, and then a lot of it is
more like a doll for the most part.
Or if he's come to life, he's behind something or in something, like a Muppet. The second one is I am believing that Chucky's running around. I am believing he is very mobile everywhere he's trying.
Because the first one did a lot of like camera tricks and stuff like that, and then
Which
this
it needed
one
to.
they're just like,
Yes.
here he is. Here he is fully moving, like his full body, and it's just like it pays off so well.
Yep. Well, Nate, did you even rate this? I don't think you've rated it yet.
No, not yet. I haven't got
yet.
it. No.
We started chatting. Sorry.
I'm right there with you guys. It's an 8. It's a really fun sequel.
I don't feel so weird now.
It's a staple of horror. I feel like
it has. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Like,
it's one of those sequels that is, at the very worst, equal to the first.
I'll give you that. It's probably now. I'll say is
because it broke ground.
I enjoyed the second one more, and it's because of what they fixed from the first one. The first one is very slow paced. It really is, but that's they're still making a horror movie. Slower burn, getting things going. Is it the doll? Is it not the doll? Is everyone crazy? And then the ending is where it really jumps. Number 2 is like, 88 minutes, zoom, kill people, boom, boom, story. But it worked, man. I'm not sitting there going, but I could have done a little bit more with the Foster family to where I cared about them a tad more. But on overall, I love the fast pace and just kill it, get it done, get me on to the next thing.
It works, and
give me more time in that factory. Yeah.
More of Chucky talking, just his personality, and it's like there's a reason why he became a cultural phenomenon.
This is the Chucky most people remember. This version in number 2, it's the most iconic poster. It's the most iconic version of Chucky. The way he looks, the way he talks, the way he laughs. It's more one-liners, the more joking kind of psychopath doll is number 2. So, all right. Now let's listen about someone trashing this stupid thing.
Do we have to?
Yes.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring. And then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
If we had to hear trash opinions about movies we ranked 10, we're definitely doing trash opinions about
I know.
Child's Play 2.
Oh, yeah.
I still hate this.
All right. This comes from Samian3, who gave this a 2 out of 10 back in 2009 and called it Yucky Chucky. Well, what do you know? Chucky's back, and he's still after Danny, who is now under the care of foster parents. At the beginning, the film is okay, but before long, it becomes unlikable, and comes the climax, it is practically unwatchable. What? The original Child's Play was constructed like Jaws. The monster, or monster doll in this case, was kept in the shadows until the last half hour, which was good filmmaking on both parts of the director. In Jaws 2, having seen what the shark is and what is capable of, filmmakers figured there is no need to hide it anymore, and the makers of Child's Play 2 are doing the same thing with Chucky. Big mistake. The tension is reduced to a handful of boo moments. Chucky is no longer scary. He is loud and obnoxious, and the climax offers impressively amusing and money-efficient set design and an otherwise wreck of a concluding chapter. This is arguably one of the worst horror sequels I have ever seen in the last few years. Save your money. This doll should be left in the box. They couldn't even get Andy's name right.
I want to smash their computer with an axe. That's what I want to do right now.
I have things to say, but I don't want to give this person any credence because
they have no credence, Pete.
You're a
they
trash
have none.
person.
That is the epitome of trash opinion.
But
That's
don't
what
worry.
that is.
I have this idea for year 3. I'm going to do some digging, and I'm going to find like one reviewer I think I'm going to pick on for at least most of the year.
Yeah, if we can find repeat ones.
I'm going to start a blood
active. I will join you if they're still active.
I may even find like a professional, reviewer.
We're
that
going
has
to go
trash
find
opinions.
Is it the ghost of Ebert? Is that the one
Yeah.
that died? Yeah.
Is there a thing as Ghost of Ebert?
I don't know. We should
Dude,
start
really
it.
funny.
That's our blood feud with Roger Ebert. The ghost of Robert Ebert has spoken.
So, in your list of sequels this month, are we doing Jaws 2 by chance?
We are
no,
not.
that one just missed the mark.
Yeah. And also, we
Okay.
probably will jump for Jaws: The Revenge. Honestly,
No, that one is legitimately.
but it's got
terrible.
distinguished actor Michael Caine.
Dude did that movie to buy his mother a house.
Pete has veins popping out of his
only
forehead
reason
right
he did that
now.
movie was to buy his mom a house and have a vacation in the Caribbean.
Really, though, Jaws 4 is when the Jaws series started to really pick up.
Well, that was the last Jaws movie.
I'll watch all of them. I don't care. They're fun. I like Jaws 3D.
I saw Jaws 3D in the theater with 3D glasses.
Oh,
I would
man.
love to have done that. I
Yeah.
would love that.
That's how old I am.
The headache that those glasses had to have given you.
Well,
they were the red and blue. Yeah, it's not fun.
we have 2 more sequels after this.
Okay.
And we'll keep the action one under wraps for right now. But I think we should explain to everyone that the next horror sequel
Yes, we should explain what the horror sequel will be.
will actually be a little unique because we're all 3 going to be able to watch the movie together in the same room.
Oh, yes.
At the same time.
In the same room.
Even though I send Pete the list all the time, he still sits there going, I don't know what we're doing right now. But
every time
At least he watches the movie, all right?
Every time you tell me about it, it's a surprise, and I am thoroughly enjoying it all.
And I like that he's enjoyed.
Actually, matter of fact,
what?
looking at the calendar, as the people that are listening to this right now on release day, we're all 3 hanging out, getting ready to watch this movie.
We are.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Wow, that was such a Matrixy kind of thing we just did. Was that what's that movie with
The Matrix?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Matrix?
With Leonardo
Great Gatsby?
DiCaprio.
Titanic.
And it starts with an I.
The Matrix.
Oh, that's no. Were they like go into dreams?
Inception?
Inception. It was you bastards. This is an Inception moment. Way to kill the bit,
No,
but
I feel like
I'm
this is more
I'm
like
leaving
the
it in
Matrix
there.
asking if this was the same cat.
That's deja vu.
Yeah, the
This
Matrix.
This is like it's an
deja vu all over
episode.
again.
We're talking about something that hasn't happened yet will be happening when people hear it happening. Inception.
No,
All
you're
right.
thinking Minority Report.
Oh, we're guilty of something before we even did it. There we
Yes.
go. All right, guys. Let's wrap this bad boy up. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, we hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Hopefully, you're recovering. Unfortunately, a lot of you are back at work, and we're keeping it a little bit more entertaining while you're at work. So thank you for checking us out. And as always, you can find us over on Facebook at the Give Me Back My Horror Movies Facebook group. Give Me Back My Action Movies. Both are on Instagram. We are also on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Please go check out all the other fantastic shows on the network. Our brother sitting here with us, Pete, does Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. We will eventually forgive him for Spawn, but we haven't yet. Also, you can go check out Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling and the monster movie Stomp Down. And also, I don't think we mentioned it, like you hear it a little bit on the commercial. When you listen to Monster Movie Stomp Down, they also release episodes called The Stompy and Frank Show. So if you have not checked out that show, it's actually on YouTube. You can listen to it.
It's on YouTube only, right?
No, I think I don't know.
Does he put it in the feed? Okay.
I don't know. I have to look. But it is more enjoyable if you go on YouTube because they're monster puppets that enjoy monster movies, and it's entertaining as all get out, and we have a lot of fun having them on the network. So, gentlemen, am I forgetting anything? We have wished the Marys. We have plugged the people. Nate, you had something to say?
I was going to say, give A Cut Above a listen.
Yes.
They are friends with us and friends with Spoils of Horror. So
friends of the show, for sure.
Yes, if you kind of like what we're doing, what Spoils do, it's that same vibe, basically. And they're really good people over there.
I've already gotten on to Hydraberg about them not having a commercial, so hopefully we'll get a commercial from them eventually. I have been on them to get us a commercial.
Don't worry, some podcasts take almost 2 years to get one, so it's
They
totally
really
okay. Some do.
Whose podcast might that be that you're
We
referencing?
don't talk about them.
Okay, all right. Fair
Some assholes. I don't even think they're still doing the show anymore.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think we're doing great. We had a
think we
great
did it.
show. I think we did it. 2023 is right around the corner. Actually, this is our.
You know what? Happy New Year. I'm gonna say
Happy
New
New Year.
now.
This
Is
is
Happy New
our
Year?
New Year. It is.
Yep.
Happy New Year, everyone.
This comes out before that, so right after Christmas, right into New Year. So
Uber if
Yes.
you're going anywhere.
Uber
Please.
home, please.
if you're
Or
gonna
stay
drink a
home.
lot,
Either
Uber
way.
or drink at home. It's cheaper. If you be like Pete, make your own. It's not as cheap. It's a lot more expensive when you make it yourself.
It's comparable.
You got to pay
Frankly.
yourself, Pete. You have to pay yourself. You got to put a
He
dollar
pays himself
aside.
in liquid gold.
Our master brewer, Pete. So yes, please be safe on this New Year's, and we will be back for 2023, a whole nother year of Give Me Back My Horror and Action Movies. Nate, get us out of here, brother.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
I can't believe we're going out on that.
Terrible, dude.
No.
That's what I sound like when I'm Chucky.
I can't even.
You think you were born in the darkness, Batman? You were nearly molded in it. Andy, I'm gonna get you, you little bitch. Come follow me.
Just
It's not right, dude.
Just stop.